Well, I'm thrilled to be back with the MTC and with this amazing company we've got of old friends. Well, in the pandemic, Steve Sondheim was up in his house in Connecticut, and I was in my country house in England in Somerset. But we would chat regularly, as always. And, you know, none of us knew when the theatres were going to reopen. And one day in conversation, Steve said, Cameron, I think we should do a new show. We should do a third review, because I had done my first show with him was when I met him with Side by Side by Sondheim, which brought his work to the greater British public and why he fell in love with Britain. Matthew Bourne and Stephen Mear and I miraculously found. And what's wonderful is coming back to Steve's home. When he sadly left us, over a few days I sat in my desk and somehow through, I'm sure he was throwing ideas from above, it all landed on the page, and with hardly any changes, it suddenly, there was the show, and we did a gala performance, and it miraculously completely held together. I didn't change anything. The only thing I've done is add one extra number for Bernadette Peters here. That's all. And it's a nice addition to the show. Dreaded COVID, when we were all shut down. Steve was stuck in Connecticut, and I was stuck in Somerset, and we would have funny, grumpy conversations with each other every few weeks. And then one day he said, you know, Cameron, I don't know if I'm going to live to see another theatre open.
Here, thank you.
Okay,
I think we did this.
It's our version of the shows. We're not trying to compete for the best version of Sweeney Todd or this, but the miraculous, you suddenly think you're watching the show. And that's what makes it different to any other show. And apart from a few introductory words that I've written and the odd off-stage performance I do, every word of this is Steve. And I wanted that to happen because this is all about Steve. It's all about our love for Steve and the genius that he is. And we all had to get back, getting the shows back on and up. And other than mention it, we didn't get that much further with it. And then sadly, Steve died.
Thank you. And right here, is that energy up? There you go. Thank you. Right here, please.
It does, but this one also is very personal. I've chosen the songs that came out of our professional relationship, but mostly our personal relationship. We had a relationship which absolutely was full of laughter and terrible puns. And Steve was the most wonderful, ordinary man. He was an extraordinary, ordinary man. He was, of course he was a great intellect, but he wasn't intellectual in that way. He really wanted his work to be enjoyed by everybody. And this is a celebration of that. Daryl, we're here because Daryl, who is an old friend, and therefore she couldn't say no.
Yes.
We're so thrilled that she has been absolutely a great supporter for bringing the show
absolutely
here to this place.
And she is indeed an old young friend of the theater club.
An awful lot of them, though, Bernadette hasn't, I could get her to play Madame Thénardier, actually, I think now. No, but an awful lot of them have, but they've all crisscrossed. I mean, the amazing thing for me is people I've known since they were kids. I mean, you know, people like Eddie Redmayne, who started on Oliver, is now a huge star. You know, James Corden was in Martin Gare. I've seen them all grow up, but the only slightly depressing thing, as I don't think I've grown that much older, is that they're bringing their grandchildren or in my shows as well. But I'm thrilled to see how my shows have been a platform for so much diverse as well as, you know, all different age groups. It's brilliant, and long may it continue.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I took my picture, taking so much I'm shaking.